Let's continue on with the second part of the 2.1 video lesson. We'll pick up where we left off by writing the key features for the quadratic function and then graphing. Our function this time is g of x equals negative 1/3 times x plus 2 quantity squared. Notice this formula is unique from the ones on the first page because it's missing that number at the end. If we think about what form this is in, it is technically in vertex form, but that k value is 0. So if it helps to visualize that, feel free to add a 0 in. And now we'll find the vertex by taking the opposite sign on the inside, -2, and then the same sign on the outside, 0. Let's go ahead and plot that point. Okay, we know the axis of symmetry, that's the equation for that vertical line, and it always matches the x-coordinate of the vertex, x equals -2. Let's go ahead and draw that in. I wanted that in a different color. Let's try, there we go, that's better. All right, we'll go all the way down through that vertical line. And then we calculate the y-intercept. To do that, we'll plug in 0 for x and simplify. Thinking order of operations, 0 plus 2 is 2 squared, and 2 squared is 4. To multiply a whole number times a fraction, I'm just going to make the whole number a fraction, and then we'll multiply straight across. -1 times 4 is -4. 3 times 1 is 3. So our y-intercept is -4/3, or to graph it, -1 and 1/3. Let's go ahead and plot that point on the y-axis. -1 down a little bit more than that, so -1 and 1/3. It looks like it's about a half, so try to get it a little bit closer to the top if you can. And then what we'll do is we'll reflect that over the axis of symmetry to see what it looks like on the other side. So if it's 2 away, I'm going to go 2 away in the other direction and then try to go down about 1 1/3. So we've got this point at the top, there's our vertex, and we have the point on each side. It looks like we're doing okay with points, but I kind of want another one. I want to see and make sure that shape of this graph is intact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, let's see, we know -2, 0. We know 0, 1, or -1 and 1/3. That was the y-intercept. I'm going to plug in 1. I'm just going to go one more to the right and see what happens. If we plug in 1, 1 plus 2 in the parentheses is 3. And 3 squared would be 9. -1/3 times 9 is -3. Oh, I'm liking that. If we go 1 down -3, and then reflect that to the other side. Ooh, I don't know, you guys. I think I'm going to go one more. Let's go to, let's look at 2. And then we'll be done. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16. 16 times -1/3 would be -16/3, or -5 and 1/3. I think that's probably plenty of points. So over 2, down 5, and a little bit more. That was too far, sorry about that. Starting to see the shape really take place. Reflect that to the other side. So you can kind of see this quadratic function is a little bit wider than the last one. And the a value is -1/3. Recalling from topic 1 that the negative is what reflects it over the x-axis, reflects it over the x-axis, and the 1/3 actually compresses the graph. So it makes the quadratic function, or the parabola shape, look wider than it would for the parent function. If you're given the equation for a quadratic function in vertex form, you should be able to get some key features to sketch the graph. In this next part, we'll look at the key features and then we'll create the equation for the quadratic function. If you know that you can determine the vertex, these are the steps for writing the equation in vertex form. Start with the vertex template. y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. If you know the vertex, plug it in for h and k in the formula. Then find another point on the graph, substituting it in for x and y. If you do that, you can calculate the a value, and that helps determine if it opens up or down, or if it's stretched or compressed. Once you know a, then you're going to write your final equation, and you're going to keep the variables x and y in your final answer. So let's put all that to the test. We have that picture on the right. The vertex is up at the top, -2, +3. That's our h and k values. So let's start with our template. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. If the vertex is -2, 3, we substitute in -2 for h and 3 for k. Now we have a double negative. That means we'll have to simplify the inside. If we have x minus -2, that becomes x plus 2 squared. 3 was positive, so we say plus 3. Step 3, use another point on the graph or given information to calculate the a value. If we look at our picture, I notice that we have an ordered pair for the y-intercept. I'm going to substitute in 0 for x and -1 for y. That means -1 goes on the left and 0 goes on the right. If we keep everything else as is, a is the only variable left in the equation. Now we have to think about order of operations. A is being multiplied by that parenthesis. That means that entire term is by itself, and that 3 is being added after. If we simplify, 0 plus 2 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. And so here's where we have to be very careful once again. Notice it's 4 times a, and then 3's being added after that. So technically that's 4a plus 3. To get a by itself, thinking order of operations but backwards, let's move that 3 to the other side. -1 minus 3 is -4. Equals 4 times a. If we divide both sides by 4 to get a by itself, we would have a value of -1. And that should make sense because that quadratic function reflected over the x-axis. Last but not least, we're going to write our final equation. We keep x and y in our answer. That means we're going to take our answer, or what we got in step 2, and plug the a value in. It'll look like this. Y equals a, which is -1, x plus 2 squared, plus 3. Writing the equation in this setup is the same as how we wrote equations back in topic 1 with transformations. We just don't have to describe the transformation to do so. Let's end lesson 2.1 with a little application. It says the height of a thrown ball is a quadratic function of the time it has been in the air. So a ball will go up in the air and then it comes back down. The graph of the quadratic function is the parabolic path of the ball. Write an expression that defines the function. Taking a look at that picture, it looks like a parabola. Looking at the height of that ball, it reaches a height up here at the top, and that looks like it's at 1, 20. What that means, if the x-axis is time, that means after 1 second, the height of the ball is 20 feet. So that went up in the air pretty fast. If we know that top number, that would be the vertex. And if the vertex is at 120, we can use Vertex Formula to help create the expression that defines the function. We'll start with our template, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Now remember, the h and the k are the x and y value for the vertex. That means we're going to substitute in 1 for h and 20 for k. When we do that, the inside of the parenthesis is going to stay x minus 1. We'll square that and then add 20. Now for a little bit of detective work. We have to look at our picture and try to determine another coordinate on the graph. Well, it looks like over here on that left-hand side, 0, 4 is an ordered pair. That starts the graph of that starts the graph for the path of the ball. If we plug in 0 for x and 4 for y, let's see what happens. 4 has to go on the left, and 0 goes on the inside of the parenthesis. So then we have minus 1 squared plus 20. Ooh, there's lots going on here. Remember, that big first term is separate from that 20. If we do 0 minus 1, that's negative 1, but negative 1 squared is positive 1. And a times 1 is just 1a. To move 20 to the other side, we would subtract. They cancel out, and we get an a value of negative 16. If we want to create an expression that defines the function, we'll actually create an equation. We'll say y equals. We're going to plug everything that we know into this row with the a value. A is negative 16. And then we have x minus 1 squared plus 20. So that models the height of the ball as a function of time. And that is your 2.1 lesson.